Okay, what we're going to be doing today is Spline Modeling 101. I see a lot of people out there doing box modeling. I think box modeling is the worst kind of modeling you ever do. I can't believe anybody in the year 2016 is actually box modeling. Well, if I was making a box, I might box model. But anything else, I wouldn't box model. I'm going to show you guys how to spline model. It's so much faster than box modeling. It's so much more accurate. Oh my gosh, box modeling, box modeling. You hate it. Okay, let's do some spline modeling. Spline modeling is fast and it's really accurate. And forget box modeling. Okay, we're gonna time ourselves on this. I'm gonna put a little timer out here and see how fast I can build this piece. Okay, let's get at it. Okay, so here we go. Going to start us off, and I was going to move that off our screen. Okay, so what I started with here is I've got a little box that I've made here. This is just a measurement device, so I can know what I'm doing is about what I want. Okay, so here is what we have here. We're going to be building these kind of cabinets back here, so let's just go ahead and get us some reference here. So I'm going to copy this. Let's go ahead and paste this over here in Photoshop. Control N and paste. Okay, and we're really going to need this section right here. So let's do that. So we'll just crop that, and then let's save that out for our reference. We'll put that in our scene assets, images. We'll just make this as a JPEG, and this is our reference. Okay, now that that's saved, let's go back over to Max. And let's just bring it in, view image file, and we'll bring that up. Oops, scene assets, images, there's our reference. So we'll have this floating in here. Okay, so here we go. This is what we want to, this is about the size. So I'm going to just go in here and create a rectangle. Okay, doesn't be exactly this. This is just pretty much a close measurement. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to hide that box. Okay, so I'm just going to convert this to a spline. Let's go to our spline mode. Let's do an outline. And what we're trying to do is to make that little frame in there. That's perfect right there. Okay, three-dimensional here. And we're just going to put a bevel modifier on that. Okay, we want all three of these. And this is going to be our thickness, like a door about like that. Let's go ahead and get us a shader in here. Right now, we'll just use a garbage shader, just a standard shader, old garbage shader. Okay, we don't need the bounding box. That's J on the keyboard. Let's turn our wire on. Okay, so, all right, how far do we want that bevel at? 0.5. That looks like that's pretty good. So we'll just copy that. We'll put it here. And that needs to be a minus. So we'll get us a minus in there. Okay, there's our little bevel for the front of that, which is kind of nice. Okay. And our caps, we don't need a cap on the back side, so we'll turn that off. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's the frame. All right, we need the little inset piece there. So I'm just going to come in. I'm going to grab this part of the spline, hold down my shift, pull it back just a hair, and then I'm going to detach that as its own piece. Okay, and then I can grab that piece and I can just convert that to a polygon, and there's our inset in there. And we'll turn our grid off. We don't need that. And I don't need realistic on, I don't need the shadowing. So let's pick all of this and let's make it a black wireframe so it's nice and professional. And then let's get us our shader in there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so looks like we need 4 of these. Okay, so I'm going to grab that, hold down my shift key, I'm going to drag it straight across. I'm going to eyeball it, doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. I'm going to make these instances. I need 3 of these instances, so if I change one, I can change the others. Okay, so there's the front. Let's make the side. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to rotate it. Holding down the shift key, put my angle snap on. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, and I want this to be a copy. Okay, so here we go. And on this one, I don't need the end piece inside because this is going to be the end. So let's move this over. That looks good. Let's go to the right side. Let's move that over. Like that. Okay, let's go to the right side and vertex. And I want it about, say, maybe that thick. Okay, that was good. Let's go and rotate this, shift 90 degrees this way. That's a copy. Let's move that up. Okay, we'll set that on there. We'll slide that across. About there. Grab these vertices on the end. Show end result so I can see the end. Closer. Okay, there's the top. Black and don't random colors. So there is the basis to the beginning of that. And it looks like I don't want these quite that far back. Let's pull these out some. That. Okay, that looks pretty good. I don't need a back. I don't need that other end. Okay, let's make the handles. Okay. So it looks like these are pretty random kind of handles too. So let's make a little box like so. And we'll make another one. That. Another one over here. Something like that. And then we need another one here. And I'm going to make, making, let's say, this one. So we need another box going like here. And another one kind of going here. Okay, so let's go ahead and convert that to a spline. Then I can attach this one, that one, attach all these together. Okay, I need to stitch these, so we'll go to vertex, turn off my attach, cross insert. That'll insert me vertices on both edges in here. Okay, so now I can get rid of those. And get rid of these. Okay. vertices. And I'm going to weld all those, and I'm also going to make those all corners. Okay, and then this has a little bit of an irregular nature to it, what's going on here, so we're just going to come in here and kind of play with these a little bit just to kind of do that kind of a thing to them. Kind of skewed a little bit. Okay, let's look at this one. That. Clear down a little bit here. Okay, they don't have to be perfect, but that's looking pretty close to what they've got here. Looks like these may be closer in here. A little more like that. That's pretty close. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to grab that bevel off of that. And I'm going to paste it on here. Okay. And let's put a shader on that one. Okay. And we don't want this as thick, so let's try maybe 1.5 on that. No, 1 may be good. Let's go 1. 1 on that. Okay, so maybe 0.2 for our bevel. That looks pretty good. Let's get that on the top. Align that. Should be right up against that. Okay. This was this one, and it looks like it needs to be right about there. Okay, we need a copy of this, so we'll do a mirror copy on the X, because this one is the opposite, and then we need both of those. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so let's look here, and we're at about 12 minutes in here. Okay, so about 12 minutes so far. Let's go ahead and surface this. Okay, so let's go in here and some surfacing on here. Okay, so for, let's see, those handles, let's just start with a piece of metal. So I usually start with copper. That's pretty good metal. Copper does have a problem. I don't know if I pointed this out before, but can you see these little striations in here? It's because this is using this anisotropic on a vertex mapping channel. We don't want that, so I'm going to turn that off. That'll take those out of there. And let's go for a little bit more of a pewter look here. So something like that probably be okay. And so we're just going to call this black cabinet hardware. If I can spell. Okay, just copy that. And let's put that on those, assign that. Now we want to name some of the stuff in here, so we're going to call this black cabinet top. And we'll call this black cabinet end. Okay. And we'll call these black cabinet hardware. So we want to get our renaming tool here. Black cabinet hardware. Let's number these. Okay, that's done. This is black cabinet doors. Okay, rename those. Oops, I might get that one. Okay, and this one in store insets. Okay, rename those. Okay, and we might want to group that. Group black cabinet. And then let's put these on their own layer. This will be black cabinet layer. Okay, that'll make it so it's easy to turn those on and off. Organized. Okay, so we already got our material on there. Let's go ahead, open this up, and on the doors, all the wooden parts, we're going to put a UVW map on that. It'll be box, and we don't know how big the box is yet because we got to make a surface for it. So we'll just make it square right now. Okay, let's save this cabinet in case it crashes on us here. Of course, I'd already set up my project file. Okay, so let's make a material for that. I'm going to go down here to my presets. I'm going to go to wood, and I like, for some reason, I don't know why, actually I do, this Androba. I like this shader, so let's take this one. Don't want any of these, I just want this bitmap. Plug into here, we're going to call this wood black cabinets, and we'll just assign that to all of those. Okay, so let's go over and make us some wood for that. Okay, so I've already done a search here for wood grain. So we've got all these different kinds of nice wood grains in here. Some burl woods, just different kinds of wood grain. So I think I'm going to go for maybe this one right here. I think that one's pretty good. Let's go for that one. So view image. Okay, so we're going to copy that. That's what we're going to base our wood off of. So let's make a new file here, and we'll drop that into it. Okay, now that wood grain is way, way, way too big for what we're needing to do, so we're going to deal with that. So let's go canvas size. Let's go percentages. Let's go, say, 200 on the height and maybe 400 on the width. Okay, that'll start us. Okay. So I'm going to hold down my Shift and Alt key, and I'm just going to drag this over, and then I'm going to transfer this, flip it horizontal like so. I'm going to grab both of those layers and pull it over here, snap that in, and then I'm going to grab all 4 of those layers and hold down my Shift key and drag down. Oops. Shift and Alt, drag down. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's just merge those together. And then we will, let's go ahead and flip that vertical. And I'm going to let that overlap just a little bit, something like that. So let's grab all layers, select that, select invert, image, crop. Okay, that's getting better. So if I need it longer now, so let's go ahead and image, canvas size, percent, width 200. Bank it over here. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and merge all these layers together. And hold down my shift key, drag that over, and then I'm going to flip that vertical. Oops, not vertical. Flip it horizontal. That looks pretty good for what I need. Okay, I'm just going to merge that, and then I'm going to duplicate that layer. And let's make it, we're going to need this a black, so I'm going to go to hue and saturation. We're going to colorize this. We're going to make it kind of a blue color, and then really lower the saturation on that and make it really dark. And there's kind of a nice wood for that. Okay, going to go back to my original, duplicate that layer, make our bump. So we'll come in, image, adjust, desaturate that, and then we'll just increase our contrast some here. Be a little bit like that. And I'm going to duplicate that layer, and I think I'm going to put a little bit of blur on that. We always want a little bit of blur on our bumps. We don't want them too crisp. Like that. And so I'm going to save that out. So here's our wood. So we'll save this as a target file. This is our black wood diffuse, 24-bit, and this is our Targa black wood bump. And then I'm just going to save this file as a tip. Call this black wood. That way I can save this as a layered file that I can come back to at some point. Okay, that looks good. Okay, we're also going to need a kind of a little tweed pattern in there. Okay, kind of a little brownish tweed. So let's go over, and I've done a search for tweed here. Back up. So we got all kinds of tweeds in here. So we can pull something out of here. I think I like this one. Okay, so let's go with this one. So we'll copy this one, and we'll take this one into Photoshop, File, New, paste. Where are we at? We're about 23 minutes in right now. Okay. We don't want, let's just do a healing brush. We don't want any of these kind of things that jump out. All right, one of the things I'm going to need to do about this is I'm going to need to take all the lighting information. This has lighting information in it. So we're going to go to Filter, Other, High Pass, and pull this down a little bit. That keeps me in my tweed, but we're getting our light information out of it. Okay. Click OK. All right, I'm going to duplicate that, and then we're going to do an offset on that. So we're making this titleable. So we're going to go down here to my offset. I already know this is 900 by 900, so we're going to do 450 on my offset. I see a little bit of striation in there, so we're going to put a mask on this, and I'm going to paint black and kind of take some of that out. sometimes you can kind of look a little bit further back. You can see some of these little striations in there. Don't want that in there. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's select all, edit copy merged, and paste that back on. All right, let's colorize this. We need kind of a brown tweed, so we're going to go hue and saturation. We're going to colorize it. Go over here, something about like that right there. And then let's go ahead and desaturate that a little bit, and that'll probably look pretty good like that. All right, we want to check this, and so what I'm going to do is define it as a pattern in Photoshop. And then I want to make a new file, and I want the file to be pretty big. Okay, so let's go. Matter of fact, I can see this wasn't quite square, so we're going to change this. Whoever made it didn't quite make it square, so we're going to want this square. Okay, so let's define that as a pattern again. Okay, so file new, and we want this a big file. Let's go 9,000 by 9,000, and let's fill it. This is just to check our pattern. So we're going to fill it with that pattern, and just look at it. Make sure we don't see any kind of see, that's pretty good, tileable pattern. I don't see many striations in there. That's going to work pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and save that. File, save as, and this is a target file, and this is our tweed. Diffuse. Okay, and then we'll just duplicate that. Image, adjust, and we'll desaturate that, and then we're just going to come in here and adjust our levels just a little bit for a bump, maybe something like that. We're going to want to blur it just a little bit, and then save that as our bump. So we bump. There we go. Okay, so now we're ready in Max. Okay, so this is our wood. So now I need to replace this with my black wood. So there's my black wood diffuse right there. So we'll load that in. And we'll copy this, drop it into the bump. This will be our black wood bump. Okay. And then we need to give this some properties. We're going to want this to be kind of glossy. Looks pretty good. Okay, and then we want to see this on our object. So there's our black wood in there. Okay, for our tweed, let's see, what kind of shader do I want for our tweed? We'll go for this wallpaper right here. Okay, so let's pick all of our insets, and we'll put this on it, and then let's replace this. This is going to be our tweed diffuse, and put our tweed bump in. Okay, and we want to show that on our objects. Okay, we need a mapping coordinate on those now, and we know we want box. We don't know how big, but we do know it's a cube. Okay, there we go. And let's scale down now to something about like that. Seems that's about accurate. Okay, let's close this group. Okay, and let's do a render setup here. And we want HD 1280, do a save frame, and let's render and see what we got. Let's give us a gray background in here. So we don't want the black. Gray, since we're doing black, we want that to stand out. And let's render that. Okay, so there we go. Built that cabinet, and right at 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, I was able to build that cabinet, the hardware, texture it, surface it, make the textures and everything, and right in at 30 minutes. Okay, how hard was that? It was not hard. Spline modeling rocks. Forget box modeling. We want spline modeling. Okay, that's the end of my demonstration for today. Hopefully this gave you some ideas as to how you can model things using splines. Splines are really fast. Maybe hopefully helped you a little bit with surfacing things. A lot of people have a tendency to just go get a piece of wood and then want to slap it on there. No, you got to take it to Photoshop. You got to do some manipulation, get your grain the correct size. So there's a little bit of a manipulation in that. Got our tweed. We colorized it, did a nice titleable texture for that. And so was able to build this pretty quick. It's not hard to do. You just have to think about the things that you're doing and how you want to build them. Spline modeling is much faster than box modeling. Oh my gosh, just please never box model. Okay. Hope this helped you out. See you later.